second leg of the quarterfinals shifts to Anfield. Lucho, the Reds with the most favourable tie on paper here. Are you expecting it to be comfortable for Klopp's side to see this tie out?
No, it's not going to be. And the most important is how you manage all those players to keep focused, to be really bringing the A game to that Benfica side, because we've seen what happened at the weekend. Darwin, once again, Nunes scoring a hat-trick to get the win to this Benfica in the domestic league. And you know that player can be very dangerous, all those runs in between the lines, the speed that he's got against a team, Liverpool, who has to know how to manage the situation, because they got Manchester City at the weekend, then they got United, and then they got the derby in a matter of 10 days. That's a lot to handle. It's true that this team has got experience. They got a manager who knows how to rotate. We've seen it. At the weekend, we saw a team that maybe was unpredictable, having Jota at front. Then we changed it with Luis Diaz, who was a player who everybody was expecting. Mo Salah wasn't the best one at the weekend. People is talking about what happened around his atmosphere and his new deal. So it's a lot of things that are happening at the moment, a lot of fronts that you have to fight for. And I think, yeah, Jurgen Klopp know how to manage this, but they have to be very focused. They have to bring the A game, because if not, this Benfica, we've seen it in a couple of ties before against mighty Ajax or against Barcelona, where they can be very dangerous in counter-attack and they can finish those chances. So the Liverpool, of course, is favorite. I think they will go through, but with A game. In the moment that they relax a little bit, Benfica will advantage of that.
Yeah, and I think Benfica has shown that, Lucho, against Ajax, especially in the last round, where they're just scrappy. And if you let them hang around long enough, they can maybe get a result, get a goal, get a little bit of that belief, and put your head down. They get a second one, and all of a sudden we're into extra time, and anything can happen. That said, Liverpool did manage a 2-goal lead in the last round as well. They were up 2-0 over Inter, heading back to Anfield. They did lose 1-0, but Lautaro Martinez had to score an absolute banger for them to get a goal against Alisson and the mighty Liverpool defense. But to kind of further your point, Lucho, I love the depth of Liverpool. They have done some tremendous business in the transfer market. Two of their most recent signings, Luis Diaz had an impact in leg one against Benfica. Konate in the back also had some impact in leg one as well, both offensively and defensively. I think he's going to start, but they can rotate the squad in a meaningful way that maybe they couldn't in the past. And I actually think this is another team that is starting to peak at the right time as they try to vie for a lot of trophies, FA Cup, the Premier League, and the Champions League as well. And I think leaning on that experience of being champions in the past will ultimately be enough to see them through. Very similar to Real Madrid against Chelsea. I think that experience does make a difference, and especially if you've won it before. Now, I know Chelsea's got it too. Conversation for another time. But I just think that Liverpool are going to have enough here to do it, with all due respect to Darwin Nunez, who's been excellent. And I heard he might be going to Manchester United, so Liverpool might want to really keep their eyes on him, because obviously that's a big rival. And Benfica's had a great run up until this point, but this is Liverpool all day, every day.
Yeah, I love your thinking, Jimmy. I think obviously we have to mention Darwin Nunez. He scored a hat-trick at the weekend domestically, and he's now over 30 goals. I think he's at 31 goals now for the season across all competitions. So he's very much out there being scouted, and at 22 years old, I'm sure there's a lot of clubs, including Liverpool, who would be interested to sign such a player. He is such a talent. I mean, he's an immense player, and at any time he can score a goal. So there is that threat, and there's always that worry in the back of your mind that Darwin Nunez steps up and scores an early goal, and then all of a sudden this tie becomes really interesting. Liverpool last game at home, obviously they played against Inter Milan, they didn't win that game. I just don't see them putting out another poor performance in the Champions League in front of their home supporters. I think they'll be very, very good. At the weekend, the game I thought was just class. It was breathtaking to watch, and at stages in that game, Liverpool were just world class. I mean, they're, in my opinion, I love Manchester City, watching the way they play, but Liverpool have that entertainment factor that gets me off the edge of my seat. And I don't normally say that about Liverpool Football Club, but I love watching Jurgen Klopp's side. They are so entertaining, they're so dynamic, they're so dangerous. Now, Lucho touched upon the fact that there are some big games coming up for Liverpool Football Club, and they may have to rotate. I'm sure some of their top players just simply don't want to sit out. They want to keep playing and maybe keep in form. And of course, the games that are coming up are huge games. Manchester City in the FA Cup, that is a massive game. Then you've got Manchester United before, as Lucho mentioned, the derby against Everton. These are games that Liverpool fans want to win, every single one of them. So I'm intrigued to see which 11 Jurgen Klopp goes out with in Anfield in this game, but I just think this tie is done. I think Liverpool are far too good. I can see them winning this game yet again, but I do hope Darwin Núñez turns up and makes it interesting.